to our prospective students who are joining us for college and community engagement at Ursinus. And it's my pleasure to welcome you again to this panel on inclusion and equity. Discussion today will answer any questions that you might have about this topic at Ursinus. I want to get us started quickly, so I to just introduce themselves, to say a bit about their role on campus, and also say something about why they chose Ursinus. For student panelists, I would especially love to hear something about the college search process.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Henderson, and I am the Assistant Director with the Institute for Inclusion and Equity. And at the Institute for Inclusion and Equity, we work collaboratively to develop initiatives that enrich the academic, social, and cultural personal development of all of our students. And the reason I chose Ursinus is because of the amazing, diverse, and talented faculty.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm majoring in biochemistry and molecular biology. I'm also getting my teaching certification in chemistry as well. So a few things that I do on campus: I'm a resident advisor. I'm also a tour guide for Ursinus, so you guys may have seen my face around. As far as other things on campus, I'm part of multicultural organizations such as Sun, which is our Black Student Union on campus. Another big organization for me personally is a Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity research on campus. So, as far as like the college search process, it wasn't too long ago where I was just in your shoes. I was overwhelmed. What college I really wanted to go to, which college really fit me. As far as like me choosing Ursinus, probably getting a lot of pamphlets from other colleges saying like, "Oh, apply here, check us out." And so there was actually one day where I looked at those pamphlets, sciences, in kind of a smaller school, and so I was like, it may be too good to be true, so let me set up a visit. So I set up a visit, not too long. There, and this was before I even like spoke to anyone. But I knew that I couldn't let that like just me loving the campus the way it looked be like the deciding factor, and to see if I could really like connect with people here. And so I know definitely like within me connecting with a lot of students, they were actually genuine. 3 years that still continues
Wonderful.
to be the
Thank
same
you
way.
so much, Justin. Could both of you just say a bit about what inclusion means to you? And again, I'll just start with Ashley.
Okay. So, in my opinion, inclusion and equity is not just acceptance, but it's when everyone is truly welcomed and valued, where every experience is honored and we all receive not only what we need, but also what we all deserve in order to be able to soar and to thrive individually and with respect to communities and various identities. And I believe that it's more than just a level playing field, but it's where barriers or status does not hinder success. And so I believe that this is achieved as we continuously and purposefully acknowledge and understand. And I do believe that at our Ursinus, that's something that we are always thinking about and actively engaging with.
Thank you, Justin.
Yes. Definitely agreeing with, actually that was a great answer. I think definitely following up with that, like, I think inclusion equity means is that are able to accept one another, and are allowed to support one another. Like Ashley mentioned, without anyone feeling hindered as far as like going forth, accepting one another. And as far as like being able to learn about other, as far as like other cultures and races as well. And so I believe like that is really.
Thank you, Justin. Could you continue your answer and just say something about how you think that Ursinus fosters inclusion and equity? And then I'll ask the same of Ashley as well.
Organizations, as I mentioned before, the multicultural organizations on our campus, allowing students to be kind of exposed to a different, but that shouldn't stop the student from wanting to learn more about that specific culture or race. So I think our science all.
And I would just add that some of the ways that we foster inclusion and equity at Ursinus is just the way that we have a truly caring community, and we of all of our members. So we're always thinking about our students, but also acknowledge as and as members of the community, we all shape what the culture is like at. And so the college has made sure to put in structures that increase the retention of all of our diverse students. We have funding opportunities that encourage research early on. Our incoming students, before they are out, we have, I think Justin mentioned it, diverse programming efforts. We encourage many perspectives and truths to think, do, or believe, and we really value and protect our most vulnerable groups. And we understand that impact and the success of our students is better.
Thank you, Ashley. And Justin, I know that you've already talked, but if you could just provide a few more examples just in terms of your level of engagement, if you could talk a little about the activities that you've done on campus, maybe some of the clubs and organizations, especially those that really honor the identities that are really important to you. If you could just, thank you.
Definitely. So I really allows me to identify myself and kind of be proud of who I am. I'm allowing to be a part of like events that happen on campus. So I know for they have a big event known as Latin Night. That's kind of where everyone comes together on campus to kind of celebrate or just really just appreciate. And then another organization I'm part of, a Sun, as I mentioned before, continues to do events. I know one big event, unfortunately, is going to have students of different backgrounds. And I know we also have also a online for the organization. It was very interesting to learn more about like Black history at Ursinus. So I think that was just one big event that I enjoyed personally. And another organization, of course, is Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I know that organization is a historically Black fraternity that we first actually put out there on campus was a service event partnering with a sorority on our campus. Again, it was our first event when I was a member of the fraternity, and I think it had a great turnout. I really didn't expect so many people to for our fraternity, and so I know once we finished and collected tons of coats, gloves, or less than fortunate. So those organizations have allowed me to kind of expose myself to.
Thank you, Justin. And saying today, I know it's important for them to get a sense of the kind of mentoring or advising that might happen here. And so if Justin, advisor that has been important to your growth, at Ursinus and who has offered the kind of support that hopefully you were prior to coming here and then you actually found it?
Yes. I definitely have to point out two people who really like stood out and kind of helped me through my journey as well, like through these past 3 years. So, very sweet. I know she was actually my she's still my advisor, and I also perform research with her as well. She's challenged me. She allowed me to mature, allowed to work like very independently, allowing me to find myself, allowing me again to mature through these 3 years, over the next 4 years, and eventually find a job afterwards or go to grad school or so on. But she's definitely assisted me on the way through these years at Ursinus. The person I really want to point out is Albert Hernandez. He's kind of like my boss for residence life since I'm an RA. He's really kind of looked over the best I can be and make sure that I can really achieve the most I can at Ursinus. I think really between those two advisors, they really help me with as far as making sure that I go after any opportunity that's in front of me, rather than kind of stand by the side and let opportunities pass right by me. So I think I
Thank
really
you, Justin. And I know, Ashley, just in your own role, the Institute for Inclusion and Equity offers its own kind of advising and support for students. If there's anything at all that you want to add in relation to that, certainly feel free to do so.
I think Justin gave a very good response to just how just sharing his experiences with a faculty member and a staff member here. Some of the things that we love to engage students on every level, because we understand that you're not just it's a full experience, and there are things that may be new, things that may be difficult or challenging. It's connecting with additional academic resources or tutoring. That was funded by an inclusive community grant, where we partnered with the Institute for Student Success, and then every weekend we also provided a safe space for students to be able to reach with like music, self-care techniques, and students had a chance to also engage in it, figure out what it is that they want to do, and just helping them identify what truly matters to them as working through any issues, if it's related to identity or sexuality, or just kind of being able to is fulfilling, or what are the things that they would see themselves doing in the future.
Okay. And I want to get to a point at which we're talking about how we support other identities on campus. Before we do that, I'd love, Ashley, if you could just speak again to Justin's, he articulated, how he and advisors on campus. What kind of advice do you give to students in their own search for finding a mentor or advisor?
Say that while you have the opportunity to be in college, you want to make sure that you take or make the most of your. And so sometimes it's easy to do the normal thing, which may be just going to class, perhaps going right to your dorm room. But I always encourage students to get involved, attend events, show up and be present. And you'll find is the more that you are open, and you'll be able to meet like-minded people. Things that the staff within the Institute for and or staff members around campuses, once we hear that a student is interested in resources, so that you'll be able to really grow. And many of our students, they're really successful exponentially in their passions, in their gifts, and their skills.
Thank you, Ashley. Just continuing with you, Ashley, students to feel connected and to feel a sense of certainly an Afro, but also just feel like they're part of a community at Ursinus.
Well, I'm glad that you asked that. So we have several clubs and organizations. Asian Student Association. We have the Japan Club. We also have a new club that is Korea, and that was created by a junior. Her name is Min. And we also have several organizations within or ventures within the Student Activities Office, as well as Institute for Equity and Inclusion, where it's for all cultural groups to be able to connect. We have, in addition to that, we also have women's empowerment groups as well.
Asian American students actually came through the chat, so I just want to acknowledge that. Some examples already, but I think it's really important to provide a little more texture, a few more layers for, and I'd love for you both to just provide some examples that demonstrates Ursinus's commitment to inclusion and equity, just to give our audience a more in-depth and focused sense of that work and how it happens here.
Yes. So I think, especially for Ursinus and its inclusion and equity, I believe, for me personally, opportunity is a really use, especially being at Ursinus. I know most of the things that I've done at Ursinus right now, I would have never expected in my lifetime. I know going to college or thinking about college, I wouldn't imagine myself working in a high-tech lab, performing these crazy tests, and actually performing different experiments. I am a first-generation student, so I know kind of going into college, I didn't even know what to expect. So I think as far as students at Ursinus, I think it's really important. I know I was able to perform research before I came into Ursinus. I don't know how the process is working now. But it's a great opportunity if you guys are interested in performing research for the program, and that in a laboratory, like I mentioned before, like that, and working with a mentor and working with an advisor, which was Dr. Dolly, as mentioned before, student and faculty on staff on campus, to get really close with them. And another program I really want to focus on is the curriculum as well, but it actually gave me an opportunity to be a part of kind of start school early, very similar to me. Give me an opportunity to kind of get to college field before starting up college. So I think just like to be integrated into the college experience without fully starting college yet, and just the opportunity that it really offers is really great.
Thank you, Justin. Ashley?
And I will add that as far as for those of you who may not be familiar, the curriculum program is a 30-year program at Ursinus, and it was originally W.R. Krigler, who was the first African-American student, actually the first African-American graduate at Ursinus College. And that program allows students to actually live on campus for 3 weeks before the start of their first fall. Wonderful experiences. One of the courses actually that was taught in the program last summer, the title was Chineseness in the United States. We also had another course called Black to the Future. And during the curricular programs, not only have the chance to receive 4 credits, they also receive room and board, textbooks, all materials to have a solid foundation of getting and engaging in campus life at Ursinus. Other opportunities that the college has supported and funded in terms of inclusion and equity and just for students in terms of access is we have so many different funding opportunities. Another example is UC Live, and so that's a funding opportunity. Understand that some students may not be able to participate or engage as much because of maybe financial constraints and on jobs to be able to what they would like to do with their own money. And so the UC Live experience to work and develop initiatives or work within community organizations for things or causes that have impact on the community. And they're able to also receive income from it. And that's something that we do throughout the entire summer. Our summer application just opened up, I want to say, I believe this week. We also have expanded the space for inclusion and equity, which where we are located is in the Wismer Student Center. And so for those of you who did have a chance to go, you opportunities to be able to come once everything is fully reopened. I answered the question. Should I talk? Revise? Okay. It's a part of. We also have inclusive community grants. This is, I believe, we're going into our 3rd year. And we're actually introduced by Dr. Heather Loben-Vervong, our moderator for this panel. And that is one of the I'm really excited about because it allows diverse groups of faculty, staff, students. Sometimes it's different student organizations. And if you have an idea for either enhancing diversity or engaging the campus community, you would just simply pitch the idea. You would be able to receive funding for the initiative. And we've had wonderful projects that were a result of the grants. And we also have faculty that are really just welcoming and willing to collaborate and support our students, the student experience here.
Thank you, Ashley. Can you, Ashley, just speak about housing and the ways in which the college supports safe or brave spaces for the LGBTQ plus community?
Yes. So we have spaces that honor various gender identities and expressions. All of our spaces are gender inclusive. And so in terms of just LGBT themed housing opportunities, we offer gender inclusive spaces in Richter North Hall, New Hall. We have special interest for Kana and African American Studies house. We have our Musser International House. We have an 11 safe. And then we also have gender inclusive housing with our first year center, which is Paisley 1. Bathrooms in all of our academic buildings and within our Wismer Student Center. And then we also have 777, which is affectionately known as Queer House. In addition to that, we have our Radiance Rainbow Resources, and that's within for Inclusion and Equity. We also partner with the Gender, Women, Sexuality Studies Department, and we understand that these really care spaces or campus counter spaces where we can all identify and have our. But at Ursinus, we really encourage all students, especially underrepresented communities, really take agency and have access and really live a full experience of the classroom. And so that's something that we're always continuously working towards.
Thank you. Questions come through on the chat. Can you both just talk a little bit about the cultural events that happen on campus? Can you, maybe just events, have you been involved in or know about?
About in Alma, they have a Latin night to really appreciate kind of the culture, the various cultures. It really just to enjoy food, dance, appreciate the music. I know it's a fun night. It happens once every semester, and so I think a lot of students really do of Latino background still come to really just appreciate and enjoy the culture in itself. And I know as far as being also there, as far as like cultural, there's always cultural events I know that happen throughout the semester. I know, as mentioned before, there was to kind of appreciate Black history at Ursinus and understanding like where we have grown from. It was really a great time to kind of appreciate history in itself and seeing where we've come to. And so I know, very similar to Latin night, as I mentioned before, they also had appreciating our roots. And so that was kind of a day where students all across campus would kind of come together, appreciate like kind of Black history as far as like music as well, and enjoying food, and kind of just to enjoy the presence of one another as well.
And I would just add that some of the other cultural events that we've had within this past year, we had the Dias de los, or the Day of the Dead. We also had the Digital History Project, which Justin mentioned, and it talks about the had Pride Day, which focused on, we include lightning talks from faculty, students, and staff. We've also had tie-dye, and we've also invited free hugs from moms for students who are part of our Gender and Sexuality Alliance. And we've had International Day, where we brought in experiences to allow students to be able to travel abroad. We've had Philadelphia, where we've seen different dance shows from various cultural traditions, and fun events.
Thank you so much. Another question that has come through the chat. For Inclusion and Equity work with career services to connect students with alumni for career opportunities or mentoring? So Ashley.
So a lot of times the office or career services, career and postgrad office here, they will really think about all the ways that they can really and equip students to be successful beyond Ursinus. And whenever there's an opportunity for the Institute for Inclusion and Equity to partner in postgraduate development, we will do so. So whether it's summer opportunities for studying and research, the CPD, which is Career Postgraduate Development, they also have a Women in Finance panel. We've also had the Career Development Office, and alums, they will come back, and we've done presentations, so had events such as the Si Se Puede speaker series, and we've invited professionals to come back and just share their experiences within their career. We've also which did it's a little deeper than just career preparation and what it truly means to be a minoritized professional and no matter what type of experiences that you may endure. And some of our students are appreciative of and really responsive to that type of programming because it tackling head on.
Thank you, Ashley. So if students have social responsibility or something else, is there an opportunity to do so, and how would a student go about? And Justin or Ashley, either one.
I can start. So I always encourage students to come to the Institute for Inclusion and Equity, whether it's a pop-in or scheduling a meeting, a phone call, or an email, just to share what your idea may be. Is once we understand somebody's vision or their idea, if there's energy or existing work being related to the student's idea, we will be able to connect them, and I will always support students, whether it's support them financially with being able to fund the program, whether it's providing our actual physical space, the classroom, or the conference room within the Institute for Inclusion and Equity, or sometimes some of the that students have presented have resulted in new organizations. And so, because we have Ursinus is a very vibrant community. We have advocacy work being office. We have so many different and programs where students are able to engage in service with their own bills. We have students who just do so many things, and so we'd really like to others so that way we can work together and just be stronger together. But example is two students actually worked with our student activities office, and they created a club called the Bahali Club. The main premise is to explore different types of teas. However, identity and social justice causes, and it allows other students and so that club was created in the fall 2019. And so we are always supportive of students and their creativity.
Thank you, Ashley. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add, Justin. It's completely okay.
I think definitely Ashley hits the nail on the head with that one. I think students are able to kind of create their signage. Of course, you just need a few members. Hopefully, your organization has a purpose, and hopefully, it allows have an opportunity to kind of create your own organization and have your ideas set out. All you need is to communicate with a faculty member, and they'll make sure that they support you any way that they can.
Happened, and it was actually the last program that was in person was a program that Justin to the Institute for Inclusion and Equity, and it was about like the history of Divine Nine organizations. So that was pretty cool because it about 30 students together on a Thursday night.
Yeah, it was a great turnout. Like Ashley said, just being able to work with the institute having different programs, educational programs, just right there at our front door. It was great to even just have that type of program and see other students kind of just talking about the program in itself.
As someone with a minoritized identity, can you speak to a challenge you faced at Ursinus and how did you work through it?
Yes. So the biggest challenge I faced, honestly, is just all of first semester. I know, as I mentioned before, I am a first generation student, so I wasn't even sure what to expect coming in to Ursinus, and days in, days out studying. And I think that was really the biggest challenge. It was like transitioning from where I work at the high school to college. Definitely being aware and kind of just, I guess, in a sense, mature. And like I was lost and like couldn't really find where I not so much fit in, but how to like organize everything and making sure that I was on the road to kind of success. And then I was able to actually surpass that by talking to a bunch of faculty members and some people now my friends to kind of help me up when I knew times were really kind of hard and where I really saw like it was hard for me to succeed, but it was more just I had to take a different angle, different perspective, especially the Institute for Student Success is a great office for any. So I think being able to talk with that office, and they were asked to assign me a tutor. They also provided me programs to habits, and I think that was my biggest issue with studying in general. And so I think being able to provide those tips from that those very class in general, or what was going on, it was just good to have another person talk through and to clarify different ideas that were taught in that class. So I think, especially your freshman year when you're kind of new to everything and you don't know really how to work your way around, definitely using those resources that Ursinus provides helped me out with those challenges.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that, Justin. I think our time is almost up. I do have one other question. I don't see any others coming in. So the last question I have for you both is, what is it proud to be part of the Bear family? And Ashley, why don't you start us off?
I've worked at other colleges and institutions, and one thing that stands out about get people who are really talented, who excel, and that the difference is that this is truly a caring community where you will be able to receive and it's not just we're truly thinking about the well-being of all of our students, and it's not just okay, you're going to graduate. No, we want you to be whole here, and that's something that I truly love. Why I'm happy to be a part of the Bear, continue to develop and grow, and then this is a community where you'll be challenged, you'll be pushed, but greater success. So if you will have a interest, you'll come here and you will really be able to
Thank you.
Yes,
Justin?
I'm definitely proud to be a part of Bear family. I think I just love, as far as students and faculty, being able to help one another to kind of overcome any obstacles in their way. I think as far as everyone having the mindset that kind of a degree or sinus is not just going to help you the 4 years. It's going to give you kind of opportunity in the job, in the workforce afterwards, making sure it gives you the opportunity to just having that mindset between kind of most of the students at Ursinus. It's just great, and I do this. They really strive for the best, making sure they can make the most out of their education and making sure that the opportunity at science is worthwhile for their entire life.
Great. Thank you. I want to thank our panelists for sharing their perspectives. Thanks as well to the prospective students who joined us today. I hope that some of your questions, and I certainly hope that you are part of the class of 2024, and I would love to see you on.